Nope. Oh yeah. Nice.
Happy hello!
And welcome to the Glendreau show.
Today we are driving to work again. My glasses are dirty.
We do that often. We drive to work.
It almost seems like it's every day.
What's that about?
What's that about? So, well, I mean, okay. Let's start from the very beginning.
Yes.
It all starts a few years ago, back when American Horror Story first. I guess that's like 10 years ago.
Oh no.
Yeah, because they're on the 10th season. They're about the 9th season just came out. Just finished.
Ah!
Yeah. Awkward. I first watched it in college.
Yeah.
Did you first watch it in college?
Yes. My freshman year of college.
Me too.
Watched
Cool.
Murder House.
So, in our freshman year of college, we both separately watched Murder House. Woo! Which we loved. And then the next few seasons, I couldn't get through Asylum. You liked Asylum, right?
I didn't mind it. It was okay.
And then you tried to watch Coven while you were in college. And
I tried, and I didn't like it all. At all. Wow. I didn't like it all.
I didn't like it all. Just some parts. And then a couple years ago, or maybe a year ago, I don't remember when, Philip and I sat down, rewatched Murder House, and we watched Coven. We didn't even try Asylum, because I just can't get into Asylum. And then we tried to watch Freak Show, couldn't get into that one either. So, that's like our hit. Have you watched any other seasons of...
No, that's it. Those are the only ones. I watched the first one, the second one, and then I tried watching the third one and I was like, I give up. And then every year they came out with a new one and I was like, oh, that'd be cool to watch.
And then just didn't.
And then just didn't.
Same. Okay. So now let's fast forward to a few weeks ago. Becca is here in Virginia with me. And we started watching Disney Plus, which had Descendants 1 and 2. And if you haven't noticed from some of our other videos, we got obsessed with these movies because, honestly, I'm just upset that they didn't exist when we were kids.
Yeah.
Because this is like a mix between Disney and Monster High, kind of. But anyway, we loved it. We loved the music. We bought the third, well, we rented the third one. And in the third one, something magical happened.
Yes.
And that magical thing is Hades.
I love Hades.
So we were just so like intrigued by Hades in Descendants 3. So we looked up Cheyenne Jackson and started listening to his music, which is what is playing now. Looked at his filmography and I was like, wait a second, he's in American Horror Story. So then we saw that his first like actual season was Hotel, which neither of us had tried watching. So we were like, you know what? Let's give this a shot. And oh my gosh, I love that season. We watched it in 2 days.
Oh, it's so good.
That's all we did this weekend was watch American Horror Story.
I love it.
And I am so mad that no one ever told me it was about vampires. Because if I had known, I definitely would have watched it.
I had no idea there were vampires in it. I was a little confused why it would be vampires, but then I was like, I don't care. This is so good.
Yeah. And everyone else in the room picked up on the vampire thing way before I did. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, I understand why they're drinking blood. They're vampires. That's why they're not aging. And her and Philip were like, yeah. That's
for sure.
Correct. So
but anyway, we got on to American Horror Story Hotel because of Cheyenne Jackson.
Yes.
And then ended up falling in love with all of it.
Yes.
And now we have many opinions that we'd like to share with you.
Yes.
So,
okay. Where do we start?
I don't know. I can start with my 2 favorite characters.
Yeah, let's talk about our favorite characters first.
Let's do that.
You go first.
Okay. My second favorite character is Mrs. Evers. I don't know what it is specifically about her. I just really love her attitude, the whole demeanor. I just think she's the best. She's so funny. She's so sweet. My second favorite character is Liz Taylor.
You just said
Not
that.
second favorite. I'm sorry. My first favorite.
And my second favorite. And my second
favorite. And my other second favorite. Okay, so my first favorite character. My favorite character of the entire show was Liz Taylor. I just really like her story. I am really, 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 really pleased with how it ended.
2? Or can I do 3?
I don't care. Those are the only 2 I actually genuinely like.
Okay.
I guess if I had to pick a 3rd, I'd say James March is my
Okay,
third favorite.
I really liked a lot of the characters.
Yeah.
But, okay, I can narrow mine down to 2.
Okay.
My second favorite, I really, really liked Lady Gaga's character.
Okay.
I really liked her. Because it was like, you hated her, like you wanted her to die. You were like, down with the Countess. And then like, but she was sweet. And you're kind of like, oh, anytime anything not good happened, you're like, oh.
Yeah.
And then my first favorite is also Liz Taylor. I love that character so much. It was also kind of cool that Darren Criss was in it for a minute.
I know.
And Max Greenfield. So, the first episode is really good at letting you know, hey, this is gonna be scary.
You're gonna get spooked.
This hotel is spooky. And it's a little silly because it's just so many crazy things happening. And you're like, okay, we get it. This is a spooky hotel.
Yeah.
And then the thing happens.
The thing.
I don't know how to put this appropriately. So there's a walking drill bit.
Basically.
And if you've seen this season, you know what we're talking about. You know it doesn't look pleasant. And you know that it flashes through the rest of the season, making you think something horrible is going to happen.
Making you think it's going to come back and wreak havoc yet again on somebody else.
I really like how they did that though. Like, the first scene is so graphic and you're like, oh my gosh!
Right? Like, the first episode, I've got to be honest, that scene made me a little sick. Like, I did not feel good after that scene. I was like, oh, I don't know how I'm going to finish this season. And then the fact that they never did it again was great. But every time you see this character, like, my stomach would just start turning. Like, oh.
I was a little confused throughout the entire season, like, how they were going to tie all the stories together.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they were all good stories, I think.
Yeah.
But then, like, it was like, wait, what does this have to do with this? And what? None of these things have anything to do with each other.
Gosh, it was so, like, for a while there, I was so confused. I was like, what does this 10 Commandments killer have to do with literally anything?
That's exactly what I was thinking. It kind of felt like at the end they kind of had to write a bunch of like things like, okay, this will explain
That's
this.
exactly what I was gonna say. Is it felt like they wrote it backwards.
Yeah.
That like they started out with all this crazy stuff, and then they're like, oh, we need to explain how this happened.
Right.
Well, let's do this and that and this and that. And even though none of it that makes sense at all.
Yeah.
That's how it happened. And it's like, specifically that part with John Lowe, where they reveal who he is, and he like is like, oh no, I came to this hotel 5 years ago, and it's like, oh, that's convenient.
You know, another thing with that whole situation that I find confusing, and it feels like they just rushed an explanation, was the fact that they had Holden. Because it was like, it made it seem like, oh, they happened to have kidnapped your child 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And you just happened to end up in the same place as him. Like, I feel like the explanation for that was very, like, thrown in at the last minute. Like, oh, by the way, I looked in his wallet. Look, he has a cute kid that you might want.
Yeah.
Like,
in order to get him to cooperate with you and do your work for you.
And I also was very confused about the whole, I mean, I understood that when he was at the hotel, he was in a different, like, state of consciousness or whatever, but why didn't he fall back into that when he went back to the hotel? Like, I guess that's the thing that I'm confused about. Like,
I don't know.
Why did he spend so much time at the hotel, but not in that state?
Yeah. Because they said he'd been there for, like, 3 weeks, and they were like, that was his partner, right? He said he'd been staying there for, like, 3 weeks. And he was like, but the murders from the 10 Commandments killer started months and months before that. So there's no way. Because
he had, according to, like, the explanation, is he had been going to the hotel for 5 years.
Yeah.
Like, he had always gone there.
Right. So why this one time 3 weeks ago, did he suddenly not remember anything?
Right. Unless it was that he fell into the that like different like whatever, and then went to the hotel. But then he happened to go to the hotel in his other mind. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. Their explanation for it leaves a lot to be explained.
Yeah, I agree.
Also, this is just a nitpicky thing, but I feel like the actual, like, killings that he did for the 10 Commandments sometimes didn't make sense, and sometimes I could have sworn that they just said he did that one already.
Yeah, the
And
one
then he
about
did it
the
again.
false gods.
Yeah.
They did like twice.
I was so confused. Or the one about adultery.
Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't he?
Because the adultery, the first one with the eyes and the super glue.
Wasn't that?
That was adultery.
But then he killed his partner.
Oh,
and
don't
took out-
covet thy neighbor's wife. I think that's a different one. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife.
Oh. Okay.
I think that's what I think those were different ones. But the false gods one, it was like the one where he put all the money in the dude's mouth. Oh no, that was don't take the Lord's name in vain.
Yes. Let's see. Here are the 10 Commandments. I am the Lord thy God. Thou shalt not have any strange gods before me. Okay? Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. Remember to keep holy the Sabbath day. Honor thy father and mother. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife. And thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's goods. Okay. Got it.
So, and those are the order that they go in.
Yes.
Like for the 10 Commandments, right?
Yes. That's.
So why were they done out of order?
I don't know.
Because like, March did 2 to begin with, but they were not the first 2.
No, he did. The first one was the thief's hand.
Mm-hmm.
So that was number 10. And then he did, what was the teeth?
Thou shalt not tell lies.
Is that the one? I think maybe.
Maybe. I'm not
Also,
sure.
why have I never noticed that, like, the 10 Commandments repeat themselves? Don't covet your neighbor's goods. Also, don't steal.
Well, covet is not
Technically
take.
could be the same thing. Because, like, the explanation here for covet forbids wanting to or taking someone else's property.
Okay. So that does repeat itself. That's weird.
And then same thing with don't covet your neighbor's wife and also don't commit adultery.
Right.
Which I suppose is kind of two different things, but also, again,
It could be the same thing.
it's basically having...
Do not covet thy neighbor's wife. Well, you know, I guess to be fair, it kind of goes, like, for the adultery and covet thy neighbor's wife, I feel like that kind of covers from both angles. Like, don't cheat on your spouse.
Yeah.
Don't sleep with someone else's wife.
Yeah, basically...
But that still
the
could
way
just all
it's
be under do
explained
not
here
commit adultery.
is don't covet for, and I don't understand why it's this way for this one, but not for coveting someone else's goods. But the way it's explained here is don't covet your neighbor's wife is just don't lust after someone that's not yours. And then don't commit adultery is just don't cheat. So I suppose it's trying to cover both ends, like don't internally want to be with someone else and don't externally be with someone else, but at the same time, like, they're basically the same thing.
Yeah, I feel like adultery could be, I don't know. But yeah, so they were repeated, but I guess it's because the 10 Commandments repeat. Although, I do have to say, even though the killings and all that were confusing, I did really, really like what they did with the murderer one. Do not kill. I thought that tied everything together so nicely. Like, killing the Countess so that she has to be there with March, and, like, her head. I just feel like that was, like, a really good way to wrap up all those murders.
Yeah.
Although, I feel like that really could have gone, like, one of two ways. I feel like either that could have happened, or he could have killed himself and have been in the hotel with his family.
True.
And that would have been a good ending as well. And
Yeah.
he wouldn't have to commit any more murders for March. So I feel like that could have gone either way, but I'm not unhappy with how it went.
Right, yeah. I think it could have been explained better why exactly March decided the 10 Commandments was going to be his
That's true.
way of killing. Because I know he said that, like, oh, I'll kill God to that one Christian dude that he killed.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, how does that translate? I'll kill God and I'll murder people who disobey the 10 Commandments.
I guess in a way, it's kind of maybe him, like, taking over, like, he is God. And
Yeah,
in
I
that
get
sense,
that.
he's taking over, like, he's killing God by taking his spot.
I
But
guess.
that wasn't explained at all.
No, it just kind of was.
It was almost like, because I forgot about the whole I'll kill God.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't tie that in with the 10 Commandments thing.
Mhm.
So in my mind, it was kind of like, he's not religious. He doesn't seem religious. Why does he care about the 10 Commandments?
Yeah.
But now that you mentioned that, it kind of makes sense. But again,
Yeah.
that was one thing that wasn't really tied up.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like they didn't really go into much explanation about the two people that turned Lady Gaga's character. Like, they built up a lot
They
for it
did.
to not really go anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I thought that was kind of strange.
I feel like personally I needed more information about those two because I didn't quite understand, like, I don't know, I just don't get them. When she first met them and she goes to their house and they're talking about how they're gonna get divorced, but just so that they can actually stay together.
Right, and then
Which
they
in
don't
itself
get
is
divorced.
dumb.
He just, like, fakes his own death. I don't know.
But I kind of already thought that they were vampires when she first met them, but then they weren't.
Right.
And that confused me a lot. Because of the way they behaved and stuff. It
Yeah.
seemed like they were already
I feel like
turned.
that would have been a much better way to do that, was that they were already vampires.
Yeah.
But,
And then to just have some German director dude turn him for some reason.
right. Well, I mean, even the reason that he turned made sense, but, like, the timing was weird for the way that they told the story. I feel like you said, if they had been vampires when she first went to visit them, that
Yeah.
would have made way more sense.
Yeah.
But also, like, it was kind of dumb that they brought them back just to kill them. Like, no
Right.
one even knew they were there. Like, they didn't actually interact with anybody. It was just, like, a
Yeah.
weird, like...
And she just...
And they never addressed, really, that was the same actor.
No, they never talked about it. They never addressed the fact that Tristan looks exactly like Valentino, and that's why she chose Tristan.
Right, especially, like... And here's the thing. When Donovan goes to kill him, and he's like, who are you? And he's like, I'm you. And, like, that didn't quite make sense, because it was like, you don't look like him. The other dude looks like him.
Yes.
So it just...
Like,
Tristan,
I get,
like...
yeah, I get what you were trying to go for there, Donovan, of like, oh, she, you know, she just kept making dudes hoping that she'd find one just like you.
I feel like it would have made way more sense if either they had explained better that he was meant to be just like him,
Yeah.
or if they had just used a different actor that also looked similar.
Yes.
Like, I understand what they were trying to get at,
Mm-hmm.
but it didn't quite get there. I think.
Yeah. I don't know. I want to say that, like, oh, well, in good shows, they want you to figure stuff out for yourself, and they don't want to have to explain it, but I feel like that's not the case here. I feel like they just didn't explain it.
Yeah.
Because they themselves just didn't know, they didn't want to, they didn't know how to, I don't know. But, like, when I was saying that last night, and Philip was confused because he didn't realize it was the same actor.
I didn't either.
I was like,
I had to look it up.
Yeah, I was like, that's the problem with this, is that they don't acknowledge it.
Because the thing I thought about was, and what they could have done with this, if they had thought about it, like, I was thinking of Vampire Diaries with the doppelgangers.
Yeah. Exactly, that's what I
Like, they
thought.
should have done something like that,
And
where it, like, explained it.
It would have been so easy, too, to explain it.
Right.
Because when she sees him at the fashion show, and just suddenly is, like, all about him, It makes no sense, and it makes.
That's true.
I mean, I guess
especially because he's such a like dopey
So
model.
stupid.
It's like, wait, I'm so confused, and they just never explain that.
Yeah, the fact that she wants to just kick Donovan out willy-nilly when you literally just saw them like having the time of their lives, so happy together, it doesn't make a lot of sense, narratively speaking.
You know what they could have done in that sense, like similar to Vampire Diaries with Catherine and Elena, like what they should have done, and this I feel like would have cleared it all up. After the fashion show, they could have just showed like a small clip of her looking at a picture of Valentino.
Yeah.
Or something where it like clicks in your head that it's the same person.
Yeah. Speaking of same person, I think it's so weird that they had two actors playing two different characters in the same season.
Well, to be fair, I think the Valentino Tristan thing was weird. However, I don't think that the other one was weird because she's a character from a different season. And I know that they do that again.
Yeah, that's true.
Because if you think about it, the season that combines Murder House and Coven, that's going to have Evan Peters and what's her face, blonde girl. So like there are going to be seasons that merge those world, like I don't know how
I guess
that's
that makes
gonna
sense.
work, but so that made sense. And her two characters were also very different. But if you have never watched American Horror Story, that would be so confusing.
So confusing.
Especially because they do that with Tristan and Donovan.
Yeah.
I think that if they hadn't done that with him, I don't think it would have mattered as much. I don't know. It is weird. But, I don't know.
Also, did they really ever introduce Liz and Tristan's like relationship, or did we just see them in bed suddenly and they were together?
As far as I know,
Because
like,
I can't remember.
I only remember seeing them in bed in that one scene of them together.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It was like, don't get me wrong, I love their relationship. That's like probably my favorite thing in the whole series, or one of my favorite things in the whole series is their relationship, but it just felt, again, very rushed, very all of a sudden like, oh, this is a thing now.
Yeah, and maybe they did like include some clues along the way and we just didn't pick up on them. But I don't remember that.
Yeah.
But we also were not paying that close of attention for some of it.
Yeah. Some of it was quite boring.
Yeah. But anyway, we just got to work.
Yep.
I love how we started this out with, we love this season. And we're like, here's everything that's wrong with it. But no, overall, excuse me. Overall, I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I really, really liked it. I think I want to go back and try to watch some of the other seasons now.
I want to watch Apocalypse.
Yes.
And I want to watch 1984. But Freak Show, I don't know, I couldn't really get into. I also tried to watch the Roanoke one, and I couldn't really get into that either. That's our views on the American Horror Story Hotel.
Yes.
And Cheyenne Jackson. Oh, we
Yes.
didn't even mention his character.
We never talked about him.
He wasn't even like my favorite character.
No.
I mean, I didn't dislike his character. He
No.
just didn't have as big of a part as I was expecting.
He honestly didn't have much of a personality.
No.
So,
But
it
I
was
think
just
that
kinda
was
like,
I think that was kind of the point of his character, was
Yeah.
that she just completely manipulated him. I liked him much better once he was dead, though.
Yeah,
he
he
was
was
funny.
great when he was dead.
I mean, I want to watch some other seasons that he's in, though, to kind of see how he does.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. Well,
All right.
thanks for
so
joining us.
Yes, we will see you later. We're going to go to work now.
Okay, bye.
Bye.